Hi everyone, Jared here. Time for the market video update. We have had one heck of a wild Monday. The markets have been way up and down. We saw the Dow as low as about 220-ish points today. Big recovery right at the close. Ended up closing about 108 points down. Still a pretty bad day for everything. 100 points down, 12 on the S&P. Gold made a little bit of recovery, and I'm not hating seeing oil down here in the 85s. That's always kind of nice. Saves you a few bucks at the gas pump. As far as news that we have coming out today, we're going to talk about a couple of details, but just the basic posted news. We have monetary policy meeting minutes for Australia. That's kind of like our FOMC announcement in the U.S. It's decently important, but it hasn't been a huge mover because everything's kind of just moving along fairly well for Australia. But keep an eye on that. That'll be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific today, and that could definitely put a little jolt in the market. Likewise, coming into tomorrow, the German zoo can be a bit of a mover, and especially with everything going on in the in the European Union, this could be a big mover right there. So keep an eye on that. That'll be coming up in the UK session, and then a couple of a small US report, building permits, nothing too big, and Australian report coming out. Wednesday is really the big day. That's when we've got the FOMC and a bunch of things happening. So that's going to be a big moving day. We might have a little bit of calm markets going into that. Okay, so here's what we did. We took a couple of pips. We had a really great day on the euro yesterday. Sunday afternoon, everyone watched the video and was able to really bank on some of these pips right here. Obviously, we had this big breakout and the market just gapped down. There wasn't a lot of time to get into that, but a lot of people got in kind of on this movement here, which was 40 and 50 pips, and people also got in on these breakouts right here, and we got in on this breakout. Trailing stop ended up taking us out at about depending on where you had it, about 10 and 15 pips, kind of in that general area, and it retraced way back up, which is good. We had that trailing stop. It definitely kept us in some profit. And now, here was the level. I just barely marked these levels not super long ago as I was getting ready to make this video, and the market has just gone crazy in the last couple of minutes. You can see here, just in the last about 5 and 6 minutes, the euro has broken out like crazy. This was the breakout level I was looking for. This is just a classical 5-minute crawling up the trend line. Broke this. This would have been, this was the entry I was looking for anyways, just a break somewhere in here. And it's run like crazy, like 55 pips already. I don't exactly know what's happening right this moment, but something big is. So what I'm looking for now, I've had to kind of just revise this in the last couple of minutes. I still think that 36.30 is a crucial level. We've been looking for downtrend to continue on the euro dollar. It has done so. And now at this point, we've seen some big retracements. That gap probably is going to get filled later this week or maybe next week or who knows when. But I'm still looking for this 36.30, and I think if the market can kind of break this, this will be a crucial level. So right now, yes, we've got a bit of a reaction. Something crazy is going on, but watch this level, and if the market kind of starts to retrace, look for entries just below 36.30. I think that's going to be a good area to sell this euro dollar once again and take it down, hopefully into these lows right here, which are just around, we saw those lows around 35.85, right around there. So there's a good 35 pips from where it currently is, but we've also got, if we can get it back up a little bit closer to that 36.30, there's some good pips to be had there. So looking for an entry close to 36.30, stops above 36.30, and trading it down into that 35.85 at least. That's kind of what we're looking for at this point. Everything has kind of started to tank in the last several minutes, right as I was making this video, so we're kind of having to revise the plan just a little bit. Same thing on this pound dollar. I was looking on the pound dollar at this little ascending trend line right here, which kind of broke, and so the level that I had drawn in a little while ago was just this little 56.80, kind of 85.90. The market kept hitting that, and again in the last just few minutes it's really started to tank down below that level right there. We can see that it's about 20 pips off, so it's not a huge movement so far. So what I'm looking for on this pound dollar is a very similar thing, a little bit of retracement. Let's get it back up. It's only about 20 pips below that breakout level right now, so let's get a little bit of retracement and try to get into a sell as close to this 56.85 area and trade it down into these lows of about 56.30. So there's about 50 pips to be had in there, but we need to get a little bit of retracement out of that, and I'm sure we'll get that. I think markets are just kind of going a little bit crazy right now, but they should retrace and give us an opportunity to get in and take that on down. So watch for that. Euro dollar's already pulling back just a little bit. Remember, we're looking for about 36.30. Australian dollar has done kind of the same thing, although I'm not really looking too much on the Aussie dollar today. Definitely yesterday, and we saw some very good movements out of the video as this kind of broke those levels and came down very nicely. But now it's just kind of chopping around. So what we can probably safely look for at this point is just breaking that weekly pivot right there, that weekly support, which is about 0.01 kind of 75, 70, 60 right in that general area. Get below that, and this pair should be able to trade on down through those lows. But I'm just kind of playing that one real safe for the moment. Same thing on the euro yen. We had a nice little breakout here. I was looking at this level. That thing broke and went crazy. So again, what we should be looking for is just a little bit of retracement. This kind of ran about 30 or 35 pips kind of from this general area. So look for a little bit of retracement and some sell opportunities around the 104.60-ish area. Not looking for a ton of retracement, but a little bit of retracement would be good. This has just barely kind of completed this 15-minute crossover, so we just want to see this pull back a little bit and sell this right around that blue moving average right there, and that should be a good little entry for us. But a little bit of retracement, so let's get this thing back up into the 104. 50s, 60s, and that should be a good little area to trade this on down into about 10400 at least, and possibly even 103.75. So looking for these pairs to very, very much continue their downtrends. Same thing on this pound yen. This pound yen hasn't quite run as far, and we've still got a bit of an opportunity here. So keep an eye on this pound yen. It may surprise us with what we can get out of this thing. You can see this little level right here. This is kind of just really bumped around at this 120 kind of 10-ish area, and it's just pulling back a little bit. So let this kind of retrace and do its thing, and if it can stay under 120.10, let's trade this down into these lows of about 119.50. So there's about 50 to 60 pips on this breakout as well. So let's keep our eyes open on all these pairs. They're starting to pull back just a little bit. They're giving us some opportunities. You can see that the pound dollar is all the way back into 156.70, and remember, we're looking to get it just kind of into the 80s. Should be a good little area there, and the euro is only about 10 pips, 8 pips now below that 36.30 area. As far as the rest of these pairs go, gold has made a little bit of a consolidation right here, but been getting hit like crazy. 1770s now, it's come down quite a bit. And a lot of these other pairs are kind of messy looking. Remember the video right here for the pound, euro pound, and this has kind of just come down and hopped around this level. Watch this euro pound as it starts to break this weekly pivot point, which is only about 86.80, 80 to 85, and it's only at about 86.90, so it's just a few pips off that. Look for that break. And we should have, I would say, a 50 pip run if we get a nice break of this weekly pivot point. So watch for that. I think those are going to be the best setups for today, but we've got some really nice ones for sure. So do not miss out. We've got great pips in here. We had a great Sunday afternoon, made some good pips Sunday night, and let's just keep on trading these puppies and grab some more out of them this afternoon. I think there's going to be some really good opportunities. So keep your eyes out, particularly on the pound dollar and the euro dollar and euro yen. And as well, we've got a nice little opportunity on this pound yen. It's making a break, but there's some retracement and there's some chance to get in there and make a couple of pips on that pullback. So look for that. Best of luck. We'll see you in the chat, and we'll have more levels posted as we go. Thanks a bunch, everyone.